All right, artists, today we are going to be starting a project that looks like this, and it's going to be R is for roses. And on this painting, there's actually going to be a lot of letter R's. Every stem that you see, there's a little thorn hanging out. That is our letter R's. So this is going to be a 2-week project. Today we're going to be painting the blue sky and the green grass, and then next week we'll glue on our roses with pipe cleaners. So here's how we're gonna start. You're going to go to your sink and get some materials. Painting paper, a little bowl of water, a napkin, and a paintbrush. After you get your painting paper, your water, your napkin, and your paintbrush, I will walk around and put a canvas where you're seated. I'm also going to be putting a plate at your table. No painting and no touching yet. So when you sit down, sit like Mona Lisa. All right, artist friends. The first thing that we're gonna do on our canvas is on the back side where the cardboard side is, down on the lower left-hand corner, you're gonna write your name. Monkey, do it with me now. And then on your right-hand corner, write KB. So we're on the back side, name, and class. And then very carefully, without getting the pencil in the paint, reach over and put your pencil back in the roundabout because we're done with it now. All right, now we're back on the front of our canvas, and here is what we're going to do. Down at the bottom, if you look at the finished example, down at the bottom we're going to be painting some grass. And that's going to take us about 2 fingers widths. So when we get ready to paint right now, we're not going to paint anything at the very bottom for about 2 fingers widths. Now a sky is not that dark of blue. It's lighter blue. So we have to put a coat of white down first. So monkey, see me do this. Thinking about where 2 fingers are, I am going to dip in my paint. We never scoop paint. This isn't a spoon. We dip. So we're going to dip. We're going to think about where 2 fingers are, but then we're going to move our fingers away so we don't accidentally get paint on them. And all we're going to do is paint a white line all the way across. After you paint that white line, you're going to continue to dip in your paint, and you're going to fill in the whole sky. So the sky has to be white. Oh, the sky has to be white before it can be blue. And this might be hard to see on the TV. The only place I haven't painted is right here. Everywhere else, I am painting it white. This should only take you about 2 minutes to get the whole sky painted. You may monkey do. When you're done painting your whole sky all the way to the tip top like that, don't wash your brush off, just rest it on your napkin. Now that our canvas is all white, while the paint is still wet, this is actually going to make a really pretty sky blue. We purposely want to keep our brush dirty. So sometimes we want to wash it out and clean it. This is not one of those times. So watch this. I am going to simply dip in the paint, the blue paint this time, but I have to poke it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I spread it out first. Then, keeping a good hair day on my brush, I'm going to go back and forth, back and forth. I'm not scrubbing with my brush. That way I have a good hair day, and I'm going back and forth. And what's happening is, because the white paint is still wet, the blue paint mixes with it while it's wet, and it makes a really pretty sky blue color. And it has some lines in it. Those are called streaks. And if you've ever looked up at the blue sky, it actually has some blue streaks just like this. I'm going left to right. Don't paint up and down when you do it. Go left to right, left to right. Remember, when I dotted, I polka dotted 5 times. I only touched the blue paint once. We're only going to touch the blue paint once. When you're done, just rest your brush on your napkin again. You may monkey do. All right, everybody's monkey scene. This kind of paint is called tempera paint, and sometimes it's acrylic paint. This kind of paint actually does not like water. It doesn't like water. But the problem is we have a dirty brush and we have to go to green paint. Well, we don't want to mix them. So we do have to wash our brush. Watch me do it. I just take it in the water and swirl it around about 3 or 4 times. But because the paint doesn't like water, I have to wipe it on the edge of the bowl. Then I never, ever, ever do this with the paintbrush and pull it. This is hair. You'll pull all the hair out. So when we get ready to dry the brush, all we do is wipe it on our napkin, and it won't get all the way dry, but it's not dripping with water anymore. So we're gonna wash our brush, we're gonna wipe our brush, we're gonna dry our brush, and then we're gonna put it down and have Mona Lisa hands. You may monkey do, wash and dry your brush. All right, everybody, monkey see. So now what we're gonna do, we have this little area where we didn't paint, and it's going to be grass. And so here's what we're going to do. We're gonna dip, again, we don't scoop, we don't swirl, we just dip. We're gonna dip in the green paint. And at first, what you're gonna do is right where the sky touches the grass, there shouldn't be an empty area between your sky and your grass. In real life, the grass goes all the way to the sky. So at first, I'm just gonna paint back and forth all the way off the edge of my canvas to fill it in. But real grass doesn't look flat like that. So after I get it filled in, I'm gonna dip again, and this is how we're gonna make it look textured like grass. We're gonna touch here and swoop up. Touch, swoop, touch, swoop. And this now is starting to have an appearance like grass. It looks like grass blades. Anytime you need to touch in the green, you touch and swoop, touch and swoop. Now you don't have to touch the paint every time you need to do a grass blade. You can probably get about 4 or 5 grass blades done before you have to touch back in the paint. So now it has the appearance of grass at the top. I don't want you to wash your brush when you're done with that part, so just rest it on your napkin when you're finished painting your grass. You may monkey do. Okay, monkey see. Now we've done our grass, and when we did our grass, we purposely went from the bottom up because that's the way that grass grows. Well, we want to do the same thing with our rose stems, but you can only put 5. Here's how they go. The very first rose stem is going to touch the grass. It shouldn't start up here like it's floating in the sky. It should start in the grass. And all I'm going to do is make a nice long line that goes almost all the way to the top of my paper. I've left about 3 finger spaces at the top of my canvas. I didn't touch the canvas, but I've got a nice long line. The second one is gonna be more medium size. So here's my long one. I'm gonna come over on the left-hand side and make a medium size one. I'm gonna make another medium size one. This one leaves about, I don't know, 4 or 5 fingers at the top. And then the last 2 are gonna be shorter, but don't make them super short, short about like that. You could even overlap them if you wanted to, but you can only have 5 roses, a tall one in the middle, 2 medium ones on the sides, and 2 short ones. We are still not done with our green, so we're not gonna wash it out. We're just gonna put it on our napkin. You may monkey do your 5 rose stems. We did our 5 stems, but we haven't added our letter yet. And we are doing R is for roses. So all we're gonna do at the top of our stems is we're gonna hook across, and we're gonna make each one of these look like a lowercase letter R, just like that. But we are gonna cheat a little bit. When you look at my painting, not only does it have an R, we have to add some more leaves to make it look real. So I'm gonna show you the leaves too. It's gonna go frown face, smile face, fill it in. Frown face, smile face, fill it in. On each one of your roses, not only are you gonna put the R hook at the top, but I want you to also go through and put a set of leaves on each stem. And this will be the last thing that we paint. So when you are done with your R hooks and your leaves, I want you to wash out your brush and dry it on your napkin. So we wash, we wipe, we dry. You may monkey do your R hooks and your leaves. And that's how our paintings are gonna look for today. After they're dry, next week we'll add our pipe cleaner roses and we'll have our R is for Roses acrylic painting. For cleanup today, you're going to pick up the whole painting paper and carry it to the drying rack. Start on the bottom row and work your way up. I will get the painting plate off of your table, so just leave it alone. Make sure you empty your dirty water in your sink and give it a clean rinse before you put the bowl back in the dish drainer. Even though we cleaned our brushes, I feel like they're still kind of dirty, so put it in the brush bath in your sink so it can take a nice soak in the bath. You may fold your napkin. If there's any paint on your table, you can wipe it up and throw that away. If you did get paint on your hands, if it's not very much, you can just wash in the bathroom later. But if you have a lot on your hands, you can go to your sink and wash your hands with just water. 1, 2, 3, that's enough for me. And then you can dry off with 2 napkins. Good job today, artists.